Hola, bonjour, and good day, governor, to every single one of you. It is Worldwide Tea. It is the only podcast where every single week we recap every single episode of all the international seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. And as always, I'm Evan Sawdey from Pot Matters.
I'm Gregory Ellwood from the playlist in the LA Times.
And all I could say is that, y'all, the season that we are watching right now, season 7 of Drag Race UK, it is definitively still happening.
It
That
is
is the one.
still happening.
If you notice our lights are a little bit spookier today, we might be getting in the Halloween spirit. Who knows? We know we're a
Yeah.
couple days late, but we're still excited about it. And also, for those who aren't aware, as we've talked about before, the road to stardom is through Worldwide Tea Podcast. And so, thank you, young Bella, for jumping into our comments section the other week. It was a surprise, it was a delight, and we really appreciated it. Truth be told. But Greg, some people were a little bit upset by your exit, but from what I understand, from what I hear, the rumors that are coming in, there might be a controversy that we might have to address before we dive into this episode.
Well, before we even talk about the controversy really quick, you and I have sort of been, I think, soothsayers, I think,
Hmm.
about where this season was going. The prevailing feeling online, on the Reddit, and on other places, maybe on TikTok and on the Instagram,
Uh-huh.
is that there needs to be some changes making RuPaul's Drag Race UK. And
Hmm.
people are upset. They're upset with the producers. They're upset with a lot of the choices, and we will have a lot to talk about with that this episode. But
Hmm.
in that context of perhaps once again, queens of color not really getting the shot they would on maybe US Drag Race or even Drag Race Down Under. Um, there the official account for RuPaul's Drag Race UK
Uh-huh.
yesterday posted something where they said this is 7 minutes of Drag Race UK. I think it's a little thing. It's like off the like. I think they were trying to go off the current meme of like 6, 7, and then are you in a
Okay.
seven group or whatever? And they
Okay.
edited from all 7 seasons. They
Okay.
edited clips. Evan, this video is still online on the Twitter, and there is not one queen of color
Are
in
you
any of the clips. Not one. And also, Victoria Scone isn't in it. And who's the queen? Who is the transgender? The one that everyone loved? Hunter
Hunter
Schafer
Schafer?
isn't in it
Yeah.
either. 7 minutes of the series. 7 minutes. Not one. Tia Coffee had to comment underneath. She's not even in it.
Winner of
Saying
fucking UK versus the World Season 2.
saying she's not even
Wow.
in it. And then just a couple hours ago, Sally TM from this season cut and edited her own 7 minutes, which now has over 2,000 likes, which has the gall, the gumption tastes in it. It has River Medway in her moment on the runway where she made Rue laugh. It has Raya Lisa doing her incredible reggaeton. I think it's reggaeton. Maybe
Uh-huh.
not. Singing performance. You can find them online quite easily. But the and listen, by the time you get this podcast, if you're listening, we're recording this on Tuesday, October 28th. It's very late here on the West Coast. You may wake up and Drag Race UK may have taken that one vid down or replaced it, or who knows what's going on.
Right.
And also the whole world is on fire, so like this isn't exploding as much as you think, but sort of wild and sort of proves the point of all these fans, and maybe ourselves, who are like, what is going on with RuPaul's Drag Race UK and what's going and Queens of Color at this juncture?
Yeah. That's deeply unfortunate. And it's just odd because like you think they would be more aware of it, but it's sometimes it comes down just to production, it comes down to perception and again, it's a very different audience of the US versus what they have in the UK, but we will still champion the fact that there are a couple things they could probably be fixing and improving. With that said, the one thing I do want to say is that at the very least, at the start of every episode, we like to indicate that all drag is
Yes.
valid and no queen ever deserves online hate. And as American entertainment journalists, we may not get every cultural reference. We always appreciate corrections, and there's some great queens who aren't good at Drag Race. We love them all the same. With that said, we could still be critical of the season and the cast, as you heard about in our coverage of Slation Royale. Like it was just more of a matter of casting queens that are different talent levels. This is just
Yeah.
a completely different thing, and this is unfair too because of all of the great queer talent that is of a non-white origin that needs to be noted and celebrated. So disappointing, unfortunate, and with that all said, this week did kind of change things a little bit, but overall, the sentiment I'm seeing, some people are liking this season, some people have come around to it. I don't think this is going to be an all-timer season. This has big season 5 energy overall, is how I'm kind of gathering it. I don't know how you
Is that the
feel.
Ell of a Day season?
No, that's
No.
season 3. Season 5 is the Ginger Johnson,
Oh,
Michael
yes.
Maruli,
And Tamara Thomas. But the thing with
yes,
that season was in the UK, the fans loved that. It was the queens outside of the UK. Sorry, it was the fans outside of the UK who were more critical of it. People in
right.
the UK loved or insisted they loved Ginger Johnson. I had a long conversation when I was moderating a Q&A with director Andrew Hay, who
Uh-huh.
directed All of Us Strangers, who insisted to me, and Andrew, if you're listening, I mean, it's true, you went on the record, that Ginger Johnson was an amazing queen, an amazing UK queen. And me and a publicist who was also watching this show were like, what? Like, so I do understand this box of queens, this sort of like hosty comedy comfort sort of queen, but like with a quick wit that many Brits like. We have our own versions of that, but they also tend to lip sync well and make interesting costumes. But long story short is I this season is actually starting to feel more like the Ella Bidet season where
Season 3.
three where Victoria
Yeah.
Scone got injured early, and that clearly screwed up everything they thought that was going to happen that season. They clearly thought Victoria was going far. Anyway, we could talk about
Right.
this forever. But more importantly, Evan, this episode, it's the end of the last lip sync. We sent
Uh-huh.
home, who did we send home? Who went home?
We sent home young Bella in the very last episode.
Young Bella, our girl. And
Our
Skrillex
girl,
comes
friend of the
back
pod.
into friend of the pod, comes into the workroom, and to be honest, she's happy she's safe, and she insists there's no way she's ever going home, and
Mhm.
she won't be sharing her breasts again. That's a big takeaway I got from them coming back. How about you?
Overall, I was more the reaction to it. I was actually a very respectful reaction to Young Bella's leaving. For me, it was more Sally commenting just randomly, "Hey, at least Catrin didn't win a badge because she'd be insufferable." And you know what? I agree. I fully agree. Unquestionably, that was really really good and pointed. The only thing I really noted down during the segment though is that someone, I can't remember who, asked Paige how she feels being badgeless. And Paige Three
Oh,
certainly was in her feelings about it being of that of main character energy.
wait, you didn't notice that Miss Julie Andrews herself didn't bring this up? The one and only Elle
How
Voss?
could I have forgotten? My
How
goodness,
could you have
yes.
forgotten that the angel that is Elle from Belfast? She was the one who brought it up. I made a note.
Hmm.
She was poking Paige intentionally at this moment, which I thought was
Yeah.
a good way to get on screen, I guess. But I didn't think it was nice. But whatever.
Yeah. The favoritism for Elvas continues this episode is all I will say, and I'm a
Hmm.
little I'm a little over it, Greg. Because here's the thing: at the very least, with last season with Kyron Thrax and Lavoie, I remember I came into the season hating Lavoie because she was absolutely insufferable on her season of Queen of the Universe. She did a
She
lot to win me
was.
over. She did a lot to win me over, and the fact that we had that and we had Marmalade, like there was just like such good, compelling personalities that for me, season 6 really felt like again that even numbered top tier kind of season.
Yeah.
It felt great. Here I'm not feeling pretty much that with anyone at this point. Like, who do you want to win at this point? It's hard for me, genuinely.
I want Page Three to win, but as
Yeah.
we discover through this episode, she's fucked.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I want to talk about it at the end of that episode if you don't mind. But
Yeah.
more importantly, uh, we come in the next day, but before we come in, we know that Alan is back. We know Michelle
Mhm.
is back, And
Mhm.
Evan, do you know who is Jamie Lee O'Donnell? And did you need to Google who she was?
I know what Dairy Girls is, so at least I had that idea. I felt like I'd seen her before. I know she's glammed the hell up. I know she's done pretty much an entire reinvention since her season, but I do not know her work outside of Dairy Girls. I do remember her from the Celebrity Great British Bake Off like
Ah,
seasonal thing that they did every once in a while, but that's about it. So yeah.
so anyway, the queens come back into the workroom. The only thing I really had here is Sally is playing producer and asks Catrin how she feels about not having a badge. And Catrin, with the one-liner that she probably had ready for weeks on end, says one thing about Catrin feelings, she doesn't like to be
Doesn't like
edged.
being edged. Yes, yes.
And Catrin knows the hard way. Boom, boom, boom. So, anything else?
Again, this is the thing where it's like, again, I feel like Catrin Feelings is like a Pixie Polite, is they're trying to fill in that Lawrence Chaney mold, and it's just not clicking, Greg. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. I don't love her. She's not insufferable, she's not bad. It's just like I've seen it all before. I'm so sorry to Bonnie and Clyde. I've seen it all before. Like
yeah.
it's just kind of like running through. But either way, as you note, Rue comes in with a lovely suit, I must say, to reveal
Mhm.
that there is no mini challenge at all this week. Thank God, Greg. You know how Greg loves the UK mini challenges because they are going to do a talent performance on the SS Tickety Boo. Although, as my husband very wisely pointed out, they're in Britain. Shouldn't it be the HMS Tickety Boo, not the SS Tickety Boo? Isn't that a designation for US ships and not UK ships? I don't know. I'm just tossing that out there because they went through several layers of production and no one caught it. So either way,
Wouldn't,
the SS Tickety Boo.
by the way, would it not be hilarious if on the card Rue was supposed to say HMS and she comes out and says SS and
SS.
they're like, fuck
Well,
it, change the graphic. Go and
graphics,
fix the
can you do
graphic.
this real quick? I swear to God, it'll be real quick. I swear. So yes. Apparently, as they announced, by the way, our guest judge this week, Elle Voss reveals that she was once an extra on season 3 of Dairy Girls. So
Aw, good for her. I mean,
there's
also,
that.
no, I mean that's the equivalent of like, being in Albuquerque and being an extra on about 20 episodes of Breaking Bad because they would
Yeah.
run out of extras. But good for her. That's great. Um,
Yeah, great.
Also, we find out there's going to be a mystery guest who's going to give some sea-sickening advice to the girls about the talent show. And it might be the best part of the episode. Um, uh, anyway, the one thing that we find out is the girls start talking about what they're going to be doing. And shocker of shockers, Evan, there's a lot of original tracks that
Mhm.
Queens are going to be doing. What was your reaction to sort of these discussions about what these talent shows may or may not be?
So here's the thing: is that when we're talking about talent shows, Greg and I so far this year we've covered a lot of things, but we've also covered Drag Race Philippines Legion Royale, and we
Hmm.
also covered and we're covering right now Drag Race España season 5. And if you want to talk about the talent show there were some flops for sure, but like the level of talent was more than just original songs. It was like actually impassioned classic lip syncs. It was performance art. It was Britney style dance performances with about like 6 dancers or things like that. And everything here feels so slight. It's the thing where it's just like, oh, okay, we get to have more original tracks. Like truly, what was original about anyone this week? And even like I'm talking about the people who performed at the top, like it was like kind of been there, done that. And it's the thing where I think that's kind of how I'm feeling about the season a little bit. This
Yeah.
episode was very emblematic of it, of just like we're really kind of going over the tracks again and again. We're lapping each other at this point. So that's kind of
Um,
where I'm at with it. Yeah, go ahead.
no, no, I was just gonna say I thought that it was um my takeaways were that some of them were more nervous than I thought they might be.
Hmm.
That some of them were sort of taking a chance, but they really weren't. We would eventually find out.
Hmm.
With Catherine said she was doing a magic show, but I don't really know if she's a magician. But more importantly, it, it felt tense for all of them.
Hmm.
And as you said, the one other we should say also France also has big, great
Oh
numbers as
God.
well.
Yeah.
And I am not kidding you. I think the talent numbers on Drag Race Sweden, Sverige, were better than anything we saw here. I think they had backup dancers. And that is the weird thing is like, I think some of these did. We'll have to go through them. But more importantly, the highlight of the episode, and I can't believe I'm saying this because you knew how much I love Lavoie, but Lavoie comes in
Lavoie!
on her own little ship. And she is looking like she just came from season 6, which technically she sort of did.
Yeah.
And but we find out that Bones has never met her, and that Lavoie is the entertainment director of the SS Tickety Boo, and she has done over 100
100?
cruises,
I believe it. I believe it.
and
I
she's
absolutely believe it.
43. Wink,
Uh-huh.
wink. How many cruises she do in a summer? Like, okay. Anyway, um, uh, I
Real quick,
go,
before
please,
we jump
please.
into this, I just want to highlight of all the little like, what are you doing for your talent things over there? I think the best line was from Page Three, who talked about Catrin is doing some magic. Maybe she can make some mascara appear.
That's
That was a good line. That was a good
a
line.
good line.
Sorry. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
my favorite was when Bones says, and again, Bones is the one thing I'll take from this episode. Bones is giving more humble than the producers probably ever wanted or needed, and she is very humble. She is not a crazy queen in that respect. And uh, she goes, I'm known as the Queen of Soho, and she knows the second she says this that it's going to get a one-liner. And
Mhm.
Viola goes, please, I was known as the Queen of Soho before you were born. And by the way, not a lie. Like, not,
Yeah.
I mean, not wrong.
Viola? You mean Lavoie?
Lavoie.
But like she was ready for all of them. And it's the kind of thing where it's like she kind of does well in like this motherly, matronly kind of like advice giving thing. She may not have won the season, and I love her little jab that she had towards Kyron at one point there, but like like she's doing the personality thing. I don't think they could have possibly known she was also just recently on Strictly Come Dancing at this
Yes.
time too. But real good media mastery on her part. Yeah.
Super lucky. I think it when they found out she was going to be on the Drag Race UK team was probably like, woohoo, this
Yeah.
works.
But
I
Greg,
Well, I was just going to
Greg,
say there were a couple takeaways from this,
yes.
if we can go over them really quickly. One is we find out Catrin is doing comedy magic. She's never done it before. Sally is going to be doing an inner commentary while painting Rue on stage. And in theory, this sounds bad when we first hear about it. Paige is going to sing live for the first time live. She hasn't sung in 5 years. But Catrin doesn't believe her because Paige was a West End girl. She was like as a
Yeah.
boy, like in the court, like did a ton of West End,
Hmm.
quote unquote Broadway-esque shows. Um, Chai T. Grande is doing dinner in a show, which when she talks about it sounds different and interesting, but we're not so sure that's what's going to
Hmm.
happen. And Elle tells everyone that she's doing an original track called an original track to mock this. Now, the crazy thing is Evan, tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't someone already do this on either regular US season or on an All-Star season? I swear this has been done before.
Yes, it has, in a couple different iterations too. There have been queens who talked about like some lines about stealing the crown or whatever, but also let's not forget the most robbed queen of all time, Davina De Campo. She put out an album, and on it there was a song she had called "A Drag Race Song," which very much directly parodied all these things. There was a music video for it and everything, and that was season one. That was season fucking one. So that is a bit of a throwback there. But yes, the thing is that this has been done. People like, "Oh, I haven't lied about Snatch of the Crowd or whatever. And spoiler alert, it's been done better than our current season seven queen. But yes, she's
So
doing
I'm
it.
going to
She's
guess that Elle's excuse for not knowing about Davina doing this is one, she's not a Davina fan, and number two, she was in middle school because 7 years ago she was in middle school and she
right.
completely missed it. And you know what? Maybe that's a valid excuse. Maybe in a court of law in British law that would suffice.
Irish law.
Um, Irish law. Uh, but we get to it. It goes quick.
Hmm.
Viola Lavoie leaves, and Rue comes out, and Evan. I saw Monet Girl. Like Rue has a tuck and she's showing skin. I don't know the last time I saw her this exposed ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And at first I'm like, the minimalism, is that taking me out a little bit? But really the sparkles on that blue was just
yeah,
really great. For anyone who's listening right now, by the way, you have not seen what the host of Drag Race España wears during this parallel episode this week. Strap in, strap in, strap in. Do you think this is something you've not seen anything yet? That's all I'm saying.
yes, that's
Uh,
very true.
anyways, yes. Uh,
And one other quick thing before this on show, Alan is back and no Graham. Am I wrong? And we only had Graham one episode this season so far?
That's a
Has he been here
really. I think we
twice?
might be able to pull. He's there next episode. I know that
Oh,
much at
maybe
the
it's
very
next episode. I
least.
mean,
Yeah,
by the way,
exactly.
we should say that Alan was unemployed at the time that this was shooting. His show had ended on Channel 4 or on
Wait, really?
ITV. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
he had Drag Race, but like and he has like a reality thing, and he has a drama show he's part of that's like
yeah.
6 episodes a year or something. But his talk show had gone away. But Graham has to do the talk show. And in fact, they just announced, or that it isn't officially announced, but the word is the woman who's the host of Strictly Come Dancing and who's also the host of UK Traders. I'm getting her name wrong. I always forget her name. She's going to fill in now for when she's going to have her own show on the BBC for when Graham normally takes his time off. So
Okay.
in theory,
Cool.
it's not competing with Graham. It's the same slot. It's different time. It's like coming in, and Graham is producing that. So
Okay.
he's super busy guy. So that's why, and I do feel like we've had a couple seasons where he's only appeared a couple times, and then others he's been more available. And by the way, this could flip, and he's super available for UK versus the world. And but maybe I'm wrong. Tell me, you have a look on your face.
I had to double check. I had to double check. Like he was in episode 2 and episode 3. So this means
Okay,
we've had
so
3 episodes of Alan so far, and then it'll be
yes.
balanced up next week with
All
another
right, so
Graham episode.
it just
So
felt like a lot of Alan, and I love
exactly.
Alan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be more than happy.
It was
So
still one of
let's
the most stacked guest panels that we have in the show. They did expert by getting those two. I swear to God. Yes.
that 1000%. All right, are you ready? Let's go through these
I'm not,
super
but let's
quick.
do it.
Elle comes out. She does her number. What did you think of Elle Bosquez's uh original track? It's in a
Fucking
what?
hated it, Greg. I really did. It's like the thing is that like I've heard this shit before. I didn't
Yeah.
think she was just doing anything particularly clever with it. And then, and I don't want to jump ahead too much. The producers really did a number by scheduling the next person right after this.
Yes.
The
1000.
production maybe Bones was playing into this narrative a little bit. Maybe she's like, well, I have to have a down week if I'm gonna win. Maybe that's what maybe there's something deliberate
No.
to it, but no, no, no. What did you think of an original track by Elvas?
I will say I thought it was cute, and
Hmm.
I objectively it made Rue laugh, which was the point.
Hmm.
But I won't remember it. And in fact, I wrote at the time, and I saw this, Thursday. This is about 5 days later. I said except for the chorus, and now I don't even remember the chorus. So it can't be that memorable.
Right.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was probably safe on a US season. Like that's probably what I thought.
Thank you. Well said.
Um,
Well said.
Bones was next, and I do have to say the biggest part, what hurt her the most probably was you can't hear the track, and
At all.
she probably thought with her music producer, oh, this is cool, it sounds edgy, and in context, maybe it did listening in the headphones, but they needed to play it in a theater or in a club, like even an empty one, so she could understand what it was going to sound like, because it was a the idea of the song was fine, but the execution, the production, usually this is like the show production trying to screw over a queen by like playing with the levels. This is just the track. Like they didn't have to do anything. And she knew later on like that she totally screwed up. Am I off base?
I truly couldn't understand. Like it was bad, and she just looked. And people were right. She looked pissed off, and I think that's the very end. She had a little flame in her little book thing, and just like it was gonna light the smallest candle, drag candle in the world. Like it was bad. She knew it was bad. It was just bad, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next was Sally TM, and she's sort of doing a combo of what a bunch of other queens have done. Manila has
Hmm.
done a painting
Yep.
thing. Didn't Lena Galore do a painting thing, I think, on
That sounds about
Italian?
right. Yes, roughly.
And her the what disappointed me the most is her commentary is pre-recorded, which maybe that was smart,
Yeah,
um, because it has to be timed. But the commentary was cute, and then it sort of gets a little wild. Her commentary, it like doesn't really. It goes a little like, whoa, this is you're she's going on some off the rails a little bit. But then she shows the painting, and it's intentionally bad, and everybody laughs. And I thought, okay, I thought it was okay. It was like cute, like
it was cute.
it was a strategic, smart way to go with it.
I
Um,
100%, yeah,
but
100%
it
agree.
didn't show talent. It just showed I know how to do this challenge smartly and get away with it.
I think the real talent came from the voiceover. I thought like her
Okay.
going back and forth and doing the doubts and things like that and overacting it. It played into the campy drag aesthetic. I thought it worked out pretty okay for her for the most part. Again, it was cute. This was absolutely not going to be the winning item of the week for sure.
And what did you think of our girl Skrillex?
Select's Addiction, she decided to do a space alien stripper routine in which she was out in this metal corset costumey thing, and pieces came off, and it was just breasts, 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 and more breasts. And it was stupid, and it was so stupid, and it worked because it was so stupid, deliberately stupid. Did I think this was like top of the week? No, I did not think this was top of the week, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what was happening as it was happening. I'll say that much.
I will say I was it was another smart strategic way to go. And I was
Hmm.
actually honestly impressed she never just shook her tits because she didn't have to because she just kept
Right,
revealing them. And
right.
she only had a minute. Maybe if it was longer, she would have done it.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like this would have been safe in a US or All-Star season. Maybe high.
I
I didn't think it would
Yeah,
kill.
yeah, that feels about right.
Speaking of how on earth did this happen? Bonnie's up next with a, as I described, pre-recorded 1930s, 40s number, and she's mocking everyone else's talent shows. But I'm not sure she can actually sing. She's trying to sing live, I believe. And her talent is nothing? That's what I wrote. Am I missing
Protect
something?
que- protect queer art, Greg. Protect queer art. Here's the
That's
thing.
more
Here's the thing.
original.
Yeah, exactly that. And also the other thing I will say is that you generally don't record your vocals on an iPhone voice note because that's what it sounded like to me. If you want to be real about it, it did not come through in the mix very well, which is why I'm holding up my professional mic up to my mouth. Yeah, I was bored as hell. I thought it was pretty basic. And in another thing, it would not even be safe; it'd be bottom safe. Like that's how I felt about it. It was just bleh.
Um, Up next is my girl, Paige Three, and I'm gonna. I hope this doesn't sound biased. This was the craziest judging this week of this that I've ever
Thank you,
seen,
thank
and
you.
100% told me the producers have no intention of letting Paige Three get much further, and that she was only cast as a foil for Bones. That does not exist because they are friends.
Right.
Um, Paige comes out and she sings live at the beginning of the track, at the beginning of the number, and she sings great. It sounds good. She is not having a oh my God, what's her name from Sharon Needles and
Alaska?
no no the
Fifi O'Hara?
Fifi O'Hara. She is not having a Fifi O'Hara moment from All Stars 2 where you
Right.
can't understand, like, or she's flat or she's off tune.
Right.
She sounds great. And then
Yeah.
it turns into a page three number, which, by the way, is her brand, which
Mm-hmm.
we have gotten 50 seasons of Drag Race telling queens to fucking create your brand. She
Mm-hmm.
has a brand. She's killing it. It's the best dance number of the entire talent show.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, she's low. It makes zero sense. Like, absolutely none. Um, and it got me eventually mad. But what was your take, Evan?
Exactly the same. It really, really was. Like, again, Greg and I sometimes might not see eye to eye on things like this, but like when she switched from the singing into an actual dance number, it was low key after everything else that happened there. Thank God. Like, I know queens have done dance numbers a million times before, but I needed some fucking energy tonight. I really did. And she gave it,
Yeah.
and there were splits, and there were moves, and I was entertained. And yes, this happens every season, and I don't care. It's always entertaining every time. It was kind of shocking how it happened. I thought it was one of the best of the night. End of story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same. Absolutely. And also on a US season, would have been high.
Yeah,
Might
would
not
have
have
been
won,
safe,
would
safe
have been
high,
high.
safe high.
Safe high.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh, Up next was Chai Grand, and I do feel bad.
I
Her
do.
her concept was good. Her outfit, for those who've not seen the episode, and I don't know, bless you for listening if you haven't seen it, is a dumpling. And at first she comes out and gets covered with pepper confetti. It's supposed to be like pepper, and it
Uh-huh.
sort of doesn't work. Or it's supposed to be soy sauce or whatever, and it's just slow. Everything she's doing on stage for a minute is slow and tedious, and she's taking stuff out of the dumpling, and you keep waiting for a reveal, like the dumpling turns into something else, and it didn't really happen. Did I miss
No,
anything?
no, you did. Well, the whole thing, I'm thinking, like, okay, she described it as burlesque. Is the dumpling coming off? Oh, it's not? She just had food inside the whole time? It's just a giant diaper that she's wearing? Like, it just didn't hit. Like, it truly was one of those things. It felt like Mayhem Miller. This is like a last minute talent that you just kind of whipped up. Like, it just felt so odd,
Oh,
like it just but she had this backdrop that was elaborate and printed, and it was like everything felt so deliberate. The talent itself just felt so slight. Is this Irene the alien? I don't know what's going on. It just felt unfortunate.
I think she thought she was doing a Willow Pill Jimbo with the baloney sort of number that was going to kill, and
Yeah.
it just was a total miscalculation. It was not as bad as the water thing that
Yes.
uh, Irene
Irene.
did.
Yeah.
Which, granted, if you I've seen the video of the longer Irene, that it's much funnier in its like 5 minute version than the 1 minute. But yeah, that was a misfire, and I was already worried about her. And then our girl, Catrin Feelings, comes out and she starts doing magic. And she has an assistant. Someone comes out for her, and he's funnier than what she's doing. Um, and he sort of makes it work, and he sort of deserves a lot of credit, I think, for any of it that works. But she has a birthday card bit that's a little eh. Um, and and Skrillex has a moment in the confessional that they cut in where she says, "I think if she was a real musician, she would have lined their cape."
Yes.
And I sort of took it as like, "Oh, great, she's going to be low. She's going to be in the bottom," because it felt a little low bottom to me, like
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie. What did you think?
I thought the exact same. Here's the thing: if for anyone who doesn't know, there's a great documentary about it, but also several appearances by a magician named the Amazing Jonathan, who used to do this kind of dumb ass like fake comedy magic all the time and did it so goddamn well. Look up the Amazing Jonathan. Yes, the documentary is actually incredible and actually extremely emotional. But like he's been around since the '90s, since when I was watching those World's Greatest Magic specials that used to
Yeah.
run on NBC, like those classic things over there. This is the cheapest, palest imitation of it. It is so base and so bland and so boring, and it's the kind of thing where it's like I kind of miss those moments when Rue would used to like stop the cast and be like, I don't know what you did this challenge. I thought you did terrible. I thought you all did terrible. There is no winner this week. I kind of miss those moments because like the whole cast almost needed a scalding for just how the standards have just dipped so significantly, and it's just like unfortunate too because the fact that this passes as something that is even vaguely or even remotely or even potentially high, even though she was safe, it's just like this was bad, Greg. I'm sorry. This was just absolutely base.
By the way, I have a random theory that I'm going to bring up at the end about why this season is the way it is. That
Uh-huh.
I think I may go with as a conspiracy for the rest of the year. But
Okay,
it's not, it's go no. Well, we have to talk about the last number.
oh yeah,
And
yeah. But before we do
sure.
that, I just want to say your quick note about Select's Addiction's little quip about the cape. I'm not sure if anyone else caught it. Select's Addiction was in the edit a lot this episode. She had more
Mm.
confessional time than ever, and I was like, what's going on? Is something up? I was just kind of like wondering and questioning. But yes, we still have one number get to.
And I
Who do
have to
we
be
have?
honest, it was Terrace. And I will just refer to it as the watermelon number.
Hmm.
And I thought it was a fucking blast. I thought she won. I thought it was so good. She did something no one else did. She did an original song that was Caribbean or South Virgin Islands, I think maybe she
Hmm.
said, inspired. And she cracked a watermelon with her legs at the end and then had the water from it fall on herself. And I think she might have chewed a bite out of it. No one else did anything close. Like legit talent. But oh, Evan. Oh my, we will get to it. Did you like it? Was I wrong?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. It felt like the moment she needed to rise to the occasion. I just absolutely loved it. It was just the best. It was just the great.
But up next, category is having it large, oversized fashion, if the queens pay attention to the prompt. So, first up, Evan, Chai Tea Grand, please tell us, what did she come out with?
She came out with an oversized bolo tie.
And what did
Cool.
you think?
The thing is that like the actual outfit she was in was actually pretty nice. The bolo tie effect was just kind of basically more than anything else, it was just cute, is how I describe it. It was cute. It wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything terrible. I thought it was just perfectly in the middle.
My biggest problem with it was on the bolo, you could not read the graphic on it.
The
I think
branding,
she
yeah,
she misjudged the lighting on it, and I
the
think
CTG,
yeah, that was a problem.
yeah.
Um, Up next was Terrace, and perhaps this is why the result happened what it is, because I guess we're counting runways. Are we counting runways, Evan?
Depending on if you're Elvosk or not, yes, we are.
My question was, what is oversized? Is it the pants? Because I'm confused. I did like the black dandyism of it. Um, and I thought it was an overwhelm good, like in general, like a really
Mhm.
good look. I didn't think it was 100% the prompt. What did you think?
I thought very similar. I thought that the proportions were just a little bit mismatched. Like you have this oversized tie, great, and then this slightly larger hat. Like the shoulders were broad, they needed to be broader. The hat needed to be stupid. Like the thing is that like if you're gonna go oversized, she was just kind of like halving it in certain areas. Like the
Hmm.
proportions just felt off in that end too. The effect was still great, and we love a great Black Dandy moment. I thought it was very well done. I love the gold lining. But overall, it was like pretty good. It was pretty good. It was on the higher end of the scale of what we saw for this week, truth be told.
And how would you describe Bones's look? Because let me tell you, I bet you can describe it in about 10 seconds.
She wore a black fur jacket and had a necklace, and it covered up her puss. And that's what I have.
That
It
was
was,
it.
it was it.
It was
Listen,
an
I know you got a rock
oversized.
and bod. Yep.
I believe on many other seasons, Michelle, we're on episode 5, would already be "You're relying on that body," but we have not heard
Uh-huh.
that line.
Not yet. Not
Not
yet.
yet. Up next is Selecta. I can't say her name. Skrillex. Or like Chai said, she figured it out. I I didn't need the rag, but the hair hanger and the proportions of her look were super incredible. She basically came out in a big like jacket with a or no, it was a shirt on
T-shirt.
a
Yeah.
t-shirt on a hanger that was her hair. And it was uncomfortable, by the way. If you watch the
Hmm.
episode, I'm stunned she wore it a long time. Um, I thought it was to be honest, she has very much impressed me with her runways. And this was we've criticized previous seasons of UK for not being fashion forward enough. This was fashion forward. What did you think?
Absolutely. Say absolutely same. This was it kind of felt almost like a Lady Camden kind of moment of like someone who's been kind of like in the mix or like middle or
Yeah.
whatever, and all of a sudden they have that one episode when everything just clicks into place. This
Yeah.
was it for her. It kind of felt like now I know who you are. Now I see who you are. And the fact that you played it so safe for the first half of the competition means now you're in a good kill zone. And it's like it just felt like all the things were falling into place. It was great.
Evan, young sassy Julie Andrews, aka Elle Voss, comes back out on the runway. How would you describe this look?
A music box doll that is out of the drag closet is how I would describe it. It is she's a doll. She's a wind up doll. It's a big wind up on the back fur. That's the oversized thing. And everything else just looks so prepared from something else, another gig somewhere.
Uh,
But how do I know the judges are gonna love her for it? I don't know. I just have this idea.
it's an oversized runway and she's a life-size doll, so that's oversized. I I don't understand the pass. I just I was I
I
literally
I
wrote
for some
what?
reason that just reminds me of season 13 of US when there was that one like witchy runway when Utica comes out and she's like dressed up as a witch. They're like, I didn't get the reference of like Minnie to Major. And she's like, I'm my earrings, and she has two earrings that are just of her in the same thing, and she's just like, I'm my earrings. And I'm just like, I don't know why. That just I get the same energy here with this. Unfortunately, I like that look. I didn't like this one
No, me either.
whatsoever.
Um, Sally TM comes out, and my immediate reaction was, I love it, but what is it? How is it oversized? And does she even know what it is? Spoiler alert, she doesn't. Evan, what did you think?
how do you ask that question? What do I think? What is it? I still don't know. I've sat with this for days. I've seen this episode days ago before we recorded this, and I still don't know what it is. Is it spaghetti? Even Michelle on the runway was like, "What is it?" Like no one
Yeah.
knew. It was large, certainly. But that's about
It
it. It was
it
yeah.
looked good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked good.
Yeah.
And last but not least is Page Three as a life-size Polly Pocket, which okay. I mean, she's sort of doing Barbie again. Like I feel like she's done something similar, but it was fine. What did you think?
I thought it was perfectly fine. She's got a good body. She did the plastic hair and the plastic parts really well. I thought that worked out
Yes.
well. I just want to briefly note we did skip over two queens in that
Oh my
rundown.
God.
We need to
Who did I
talk
forgot?
about Catrin and
Oh
Bonnie,
my God.
who are in between. It's okay. Don't
How could
worry, we're
I
not missing much.
how could I forget them? I actually have I have all caps for one of them. Uh what did Catherine Feelings wear, Evan?
Oh, she was in an old white wig and she had all these oversized balls and bangles in her leopard print dress and it was oh how we didn't really miss you what's her face, Sherry Pie.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
just, it was just, oh, a white-haired old lady with bangles. Look at that. Here we go. Let's drag everybody. It's
uh, I
oversized. Ooh,
I
the
did write
big,
in all caps, barely oversized. Like this
barely.
barely. And then our girl, Bonnie and Clyde, last week's winner. She's an award winner, like a red carpet with a super long train. And I thought that was okay. I that is definitely oversized. And I will say I liked the idea that it detached and she walked back on it. That was smart and cool. I don't know if
Yeah.
I had to I did not remember it until I saw my notes, but it was smart. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it was a good idea. It was a standard dress. I personally thought it would be even more fun if she actually walked out with the train wrapped around her and maneuvered it. I thought that could have been an interesting element, but
Yeah.
for the effect that it had, it did its job.
So Evan, who is safe?
Who is safe? That would be Sally TM. That would be God, I can't even remember.
Bonnie,
Bonnie, yes. And it would be Catrin, ultimately, are
Catrin.
the people who would be safe.
And Catrin, I wrote should have been low or bottom,
Uh-huh.
but Catrin is safe. And the other note I noticed was Bonnie seems slightly vexed she's not high.
Well,
Anyway,
she's a Rue Badge winner. Who knows at this point? Just
were
well.
there any quick comments you had about the judging of the queens?
Uh, not. I'm trying to think right now. Not particularly. I was just sad for Chai T Grande. I feel like she's
Yeah.
been getting the brunt of the edit, unfortunately, on here. And unfortunately, it's the kind of thing where it's like, I just kind of knew, Greg. I just kind of knew because as this episode played out, outside of the fact that I was just effing pissed off that Paige was in the bottom at all
Yeah.
for stupid reasons, and Elle was in the top for stupid reasons. Everything else made sense. Taverson selects it being top were good. Bones in the bottom made sense, but also like this narrative was just so played out. You know how you know Bones would be in the bottom? I don't know. Maybe at the start of the episode, we just said, "I don't feel confident in my number." It played out. She played into it right there. And unfortunately, if you're going to have a bottom three of Chai, Bones, and Paige, well, two of them have a narrative that the show is trying to throw together, and unfortunately, Chai does not, and that is deeply unfortunate because I think she's genuinely a talented queen. So I was a little upset with how everything was going, to put it lightly.
Um, I was vexed that Michelle is still criticizing Terrace's makeup. I thought it was much better this week.
Yeah.
She's actually been better for a couple weeks. I thought they were searching for something to be critical about Terrace
Mm-hmm.
about, which
Mm-hmm.
was a little disconcerting to me.
Mm-hmm.
They went overboard with Elle, and Rue asked her about her sense of humor and where it all came from and all this bullshit. I do not understand for Paige. Michelle says she wants her to do something different with her drag, and Bones is standing right there, who has also been doing the same thing. Elle's been doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Rue wants her to play with her silhouette, and Bones is right there, who has
Mm-hmm.
doing almost the same sort of looks, not playing with her silhouette. I I'm vexed. Again, at this point, I am realizing, Paige, I'm so sorry, Paige, if you're watching this, you already know what happens.
Hmm.
But at this point, you must have realized you do not have a chance here. And the one thing that I'll say is I feel really bad for Paige because I feel like if she had been cast on a US season with Rue, shot in the United States and Los
Hmm.
Angeles, easy top four.
Hmm.
Easy. Maybe
100%.
only goes home because she trips or like fucks up
Right.
a number so bad. Like will sail through. Not here. They
Not
want the
here.
comedy, whatever. Oh. And then the other thing about Bones, the only other note I had was she, they were pretty honest with her, and she just talks about how disappointed she is, like sort of in herself.
Yeah.
And that they loved her look, but I wrote they ripped her number, which
Yes.
deserve it.
I mean, come on.
Anyway, anything in the workroom that popped to you?
Really, the only things are just the things that we kind of knew that were going to happen. Paige is very upset by her critiques, I think justifiably so. And then also, Chai just completely breaks down when asking how she's doing. And quite frankly, she's smart because she sees the writing on the wall. She kind of knows what's going to happen. So, well, let's
And
get on
also
with it.
we
Yeah.
should clarify. Chai should have either been high one week or could have potentially won a challenge if it had been judged a different way.
Hmm.
And she has been consistently overlooked for doing great. Like her runways haven't even like saved her when they should have. It's been it's been wild.
Hmm.
Anyway, we get to the top three. Terrace high. L high. Shocking. She didn't win. Didn't you? Did you think for a minute she might win?
Yes, because I know how the season's going. She seemed pissed off, to be honest, that she didn't win more than anything else. And even in the work, she was like, I might smell a win coming on. And it's just like, girl, I'm over it. I'm over a lot of
Hmm.
things on this season, Greg.
I'm just so
Oh,
glad I'm just so glad I'm not the one that has to say this. But then who wins this episode?
it
Evan.
is actually our comeback queen and the person in the edit in your face at all times. It is Select's Addiction, who scores her first win for the season. And honestly, pretty well deserved. That runway was pretty great. I thought that really pushed her over the top.
100% Skrillex wins. And then we find out that Page Three is safe. It's an easy safe because she never should have been low in the first place.
Hmm.
And it's Chai Tea versus Bones to a lip sync of one of my all-time favorite, not just tracks, I love the original track, but remixes. The Calvin Harris remix of Spectrum by Florence and the Machine. I love, love, love this song. And let me tell you, Evan, once again, we have a great song that Greg loves, that the artist will never be reposting on social media because this effing lip sync. Oi. Um, I can I just give my quick like would you have comments first? Because if not, yeah.
I'm, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm doing all the bonus choreography for
But
you for those watching the
um
video podcast.
my first take on this is that if Chai did not have that outfit that constricted her like in her shoulders, she would have easily won this and they would have had to hide it in the edit if they didn't want her to win. Because all
Thousand percent.
her move 100%. Bones is doing Alyssa Edwards without the splits. She is walking back and forth on the stage. She's walking around. It is weak. It is she does one little jump thing that the editors caught that I guess they thought was cool,
Well, here's the
but it
thing.
is but it was weak. And remember, I don't know if anyone remembers this. I mentioned earlier on that I was at GAY in May, where I saw Jewel Sparkles was the US. This is in London. And there were three UK queens there. Two of them were Bones and Paige Three. And one of them, they all had their solo numbers before Jules came out. And one of them was not such a great lip syncer. And do you know who it was? Because I found the video. It was Bones. And I love you, Bones. I love your personality. I love your look. I love your drag. But you are not a performer. And I'm
No.
just if I 2 episodes ago I thought she could win. Now I'm like, who is winning this season? Like that we want to win. Anyway, end of rant. Anything else you would like to say, Evan?
I mean, I'll be honest, Greg. I kind of lost a little bit of respect for Bones in this whole thing. Like low key, it's the kind of thing where it's like she had been so fashion forward, and low key, I've liked her, especially in this episode in the edit. This like I think she was probably feeding into a little bit. She was probably feeding producers. I don't feel confident about my track. I don't know how it's going to do. Like I thought, like that's kind of smart. Like she's doing the things that you need to do as a queen, but it's just when it came to performance, it just sucked. And the thing is that we've seen her perform already this season. She's done better significantly. And so this whole thing, I just kind of felt desperate. and the end result just felt wrong because if it truly was a lip sync of who won, if you want to talk about expressions and emotions, Chai T Grande won it. But ultimately, in terms of actual performance aesthetics and in terms of narratives that you want for the season going forward, then yes, they kept Bones, which is unfortunate because I thought it would have been even more of a gag if Bones was robbed. I think if she went home at this point, I thought it would actually been better for the season, truth be told. But nope, the producers clearly made their marks in the sand, and we kind of know how the top is going to play out at this point, and it's kind of unfortunate.
It is. Evan, before I give you my conspiratorial theory, which is actually a sad conspiratorial theory about why this season is so off, are there any other thoughts about this episode or where the season's going you want to say?
As much as I really love Chai Tea Grande, kind of in docking her a billion points for her exit line of, I guess you ordered your chai tea to go. Well, sorry, Tia Coffee already did that. Tia
Oh
Coffee already
no.
grabbed that line. That was her elimination
Oh,
line. Come on, Chai Tea Grande, little disappointed. You had a moment here. It was and like it's UK too. It's also UK. You had to have known. It's one of the most
yeah.
iconic seasons. Anyway, that's my only thing. As much as I do think Chai Tea Grande was robbed, and I think deserves a wonderful run on Slasion Royale season 2 whenever it does happen. Genuinely, that exit line took me out a little bit, but otherwise we're good. That said, I have my tinfoil hat on. I'm ready to go, Greg. What's the conspiracy? Hit me with it.
So conspiracy might be the wrong word. I think
Okay.
it's important for us to remember, Tom Campbell comes over. He's one of
Mhm.
the producers of the US who does also UK. Rue is there. Often, sometimes Randy and Fenton are there. They're not there all the time.
Mhm.
Raven is there. A lot of the team around Rue comes from the US. When they were shooting this is when Trump got elected. And everything that happened in that first 2 weeks of every day, every 5 minutes, not like 30 horrible executive orders again and again and again. And just the sense of like if anyone would, we were sort of off season that point. We didn't really have a season going,
Right.
but just like everything was negative, negative, like you just like could not believe how bad this was. I'm sorry to bring the podcast down,
You're
but part
fine.
of me thinks that like I'm not saying that Rue or Michelle were not professional and that they checked out, but I think maybe I would not. I would give them the grace to say that maybe everyone was so just distracted from what was going on back home that the UK producers were just like, okay, we got to get through all this. Like, let's go,
Mhm.
and that maybe calmer heads in other seasons could were just too distracted to speak up. It occurred to me earlier today while I was thinking about the season and the episode, and it's one of those things where like if I saw Michelle and interviewed her, I'd be like, "Hey, UK season 7, like how were you guys like insanely distracted?" Like, and it's not a criticism because you know what? It would happen to you or me. Like,
Right.
eh, and
100%.
so and maybe that's wrong, but they were literally shooting the season at the exact same time as all of that went on for about 3 weeks. And I that's my little conspiratorially theory about why maybe this season is a little off. What do you think?
Uh,
Stretch?
it it yes, but at the same
Ah,
time, like I do get it though. It's just the whole thing. It just feels like more than anything else, the standards kind of fell down, and that's the thing. We're like as we've seen across the seasons, when they had Danny Beard and Cheddar Gorgeous on the same season, like yes, cast these titans of drag to go head to head together, and what do you know? It was great TV. It was fantastic, and even season 6, yes, Lavoie is an old legend. Oh, they're Catrin with this fresh young energy. They played off each other. Marmalades in the mix. It was good here. What are we doing here? Like at this point, who's going to be our winner of the season? It's going to be fucking Bonnie and Clyde. Is it going to be fucking El Vosk? Like none of these just feel like they belong in that pantheon at
no.
this point. And I could be wrong, and maybe something will happen, and maybe Taurus will just tear it all out and just rip it all up and be the queen that we long have deserved. But at this point, it's like I just that's the problem. I just don't feel for anything. And there's this showmance that's going on, and there's this rivalry going on, and I just don't. At this point, give it to Sally TM. Sally TM is gonna hopefully come out on top and take it all. Like that's how I'm feeling. Who do you want to win the season, Greg? At this point, genuinely.
Oh, well, I want Paige Three to win, but she's not. I don't even know if she can
Yeah.
last next episode. I don't know if she can last two more
Right.
episodes. I have no idea. But the writing's on the wall for her. The producers are
Mm.
against her.
Hmm.
I think I am resigning myself to the fact that Elle is winning. Like Rue loves her. They are showing in the edit every time they go. She's on the runway to be critiqued. Um, that 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 Rue just like adores her. It's giving me minor um Lawrence Chaney, like not that intense, but like close.
Hmm.
Little Ginger Johns also is that way. And then last season we were very distracted because they liked both Lavoie and Kyron, and we couldn't tell really
Hmm.
who was. That's why it was a good season. It was so close. Um, but yeah, and I am hoping that you know, I hope somebody listens. I don't want anyone to ever lose their jobs, but I think sometimes with a long running show, and it actually happened on US Drag Race a couple times,
Hmm.
sometimes you need new blood and you need some new story producers, you need some new people in there, and hopefully the BBC and WoW will get the message, and the next season of UK will make it more interesting,
Oh, yeah,
more
listen, we
entertaining.
listen. In the US they had season 13 and they had season 14 back to back. I'm not sure if any of those are necessarily going to be all timers, but they did what they could. And hey, cooler heads have prevailed. We will see. But most importantly, what I would like to know most of all is what do you, the listener and viewer at home, think? Right here in the comments down below on the YouTube video,
Yeah.
please, what do you think on here? If you're on SoundCloud, if you're on Spotify, whatever you are, leave a comment or send an email to worldwideteapodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to know what do you think's going to happen at this point. No, like spoilers, but I just want to know where's your hashtag Team Alliance on here. We would love to know. And either way, even if you're not watching the show, if you're just listening to it to our lovely dulcet ASMR ready voices, that's great too. And you know what? We're going to be here next week with another episode. In the meantime, do us a kindness and listen to us and follow us and just recommend us and all those things are like you may think it's a small thing, but we built this empire from scratch and we really appreciate it. Greg, it looks like you wanted to say one last thing before we bounced.
No, I was going to say if you're making comments, also if you think my theory is completely nuts
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm projecting, please let me know. And I will just bite my tongue from now on and not say, and just not say a word.
or maybe he won't, and you'll hear that in the Espana episode that we're about to record too. But either way, do listen to all of our coverage. It's still going on. We're excited for Canada. We'll have our Meet the Queen soon. In the meantime, we'll talk to you all. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.